the red dragon and the sheep, the return of Nibiru. To begin solving the mystery of the planet known as, more recent scientific evidence points to the date actually being closer to 1628 BC. There's also evidence for a disruption around 5200 BC, 8800 BC, 12,400 BC, 16,000 BC, 19,600 BC, and by logical extension every 3,600 years previously for an indefinite and unknown period of time. What is more, if the last return was in 1628 BC, we are not just due, we are overdue for the next one, for the next return of Nibiru. Considering the scientific evidence for the catastrophic Earth changes that occurred around 1628 BC, we must ask ourselves if there is any biblical evidence that suggests that something significant occurred during that time, that same time frame. And the answer is absolutely yes. In the beginning of the Bible, there is a description of an event that took place during this time, around 3,600 years ago. The occurrences that surrounded this event seem to perfectly fit the description of the effects that Planet X, or Nibiru, has on the Earth, based on what we find in ancient manuscripts. What's even more interesting is that the occurrences that surrounded this event 3,600 years ago are very similar to those described in the book of Revelation, which outlines what will happen in the end of the world, or age. Other ancient manuscripts, describe these same events and confirm that this planet does indeed come into sight and does indeed cause great cataclysmic events to occur on the Earth. Two of these other corroborating texts are the Mayan Prophecies and the Colburn Bible. First, the Colburn Bible describes in detail a massive celestial body known as the Destroyer. The description of this destroyer correlates to the quote-unquote far Earth in the Isaiah passage just noted, possibly to the destructive celestial body known as wormwood in the book of Revelation, as well as the warning of the red comet to arrive in 2012, or, as some would say, December 24th, 2011, according to the Mayan calendar, which is the other ancient source of note. The Colburn Bible is a substantial biblical-era wisdom text of immense value. The earliest books of this ancient manuscript were written following the Hebrew exodus from Egypt. Free of religious divides, the Colburn Bible offers a non-judgmental view of ancient times that bridges secular and non-secular thought. It also projects dire and urgent warnings from across the millennia to those of us living today. The message of the Colburn Bible is clear. We will soon face natural disasters that will visit death and havoc upon us on an unimaginable scale. It also provides unique insights into the current perturbations or the unexplained vibrations or movements happening throughout our solar system and the ever-quickening pace of natural disasters and plagues that now beset. To be aware of this planet and its soon return is very important, but just how important? Important enough for the United States government to sit up and take notice. America has spent huge sums to deploy what they call the South Pole Telescope in Antarctica. The final installation will be the size of a mini-mall and will require a massive C-130 airlift effort to transport pre-assembled modules and a large staff to the most desolate, inhospitable, and inaccessible region of the world. Why? Because Planet X, or Nibiru, was first sighted by NASA in 1983 and even reported in 5 major American newspapers before it was squashed the very next day. This discovery spurred the USA to build the SPT, or the South Pole Telescope, humanity's new Planet X tracker. The ancient peoples who speak of this planet also speak of the inhabitants of this planet and call them gods and even give them a name, the Anunnaki. The word Anunnaki means, literally, those who from heaven to earth came. They were said to fly in spacecraft and were attributed with great knowledge that they passed on to the inhabitants of the earth. This incoming planet has been the subject of many books over the last decade. Those who govern us absolutely know it is coming, but they refuse to acknowledge its existence. Another primary example of this is what has been done to its coordinates on Google Sky. You can view the area of the constellation of Orion, from which Nibiru is said to be coming, by going to google.com wiki.sky or wikisky, WIKISKY.com, and typing in the coordinates 5 hours, 53 minutes, 27 seconds, dash 6, 10, apostrophe 58. And how this reads when you type it out is 5 and a lowercase h, space, 53, lowercase m, 27 s, lowercase s that is, space, dash 6, space, 10, apostrophe, space, 58. Again, that's 5h, space, 53m, space, 27s, space, dash 6, space, 10, apostrophe, space, 58. Now, when I did this in late 2010, the entire area was blocked off by a black rectangle, but the fringes of it were red, making it obvious that something was behind it. The word around the internet says that this blacked out area is no longer viewable, and those sources have blended the area in to look like the rest of the sky. This is entirely possible, as the telescope software used by them is not a live application, so they could insert whatever they wanted into these coordinates. They've done everything they can to hide this object and deny its existence up to this point, so any steps to further suppress the public's awareness of it would not surprise me.